see. Okay, as Tim said, I'm Susan Rupert. Many of you here already know me. My husband, Joe, my son, Will, we all have Rupert Funeral Home here in New Bethlehem and Rupert Mortuary in Knox. And for those of you who don't know me with the Rupert name or seen me, usually if I tell everybody that I'm the daughter of Don and Judy Williams of New Bethlehem, then that probably will be more familiar to you. However, here in New Bethlehem, Don and Judy have been around for many years, and my father was a policeman here in town. My mom worked for Leach Agency, so somebody here has probably had dealings with them through the years. The reason I'm speaking to you this evening is to give you a little background information on this year's Citizen of the Year and how this distinguished honor was earned the old-fashioned way through hard work, dedication, and love of community. Judy Williams, she was the daughter of the late Gladys and Elmer Williams Sr., and she was born in Chickasaw, which is in Armstrong County for any of you who don't know where Chickasaw is. She was raised down on the farm between Kellersburg and Widnoon and moved into the big town of New Bethlehem after graduating from Redbank Valley High School. And she took a job for G.C. Murphy Company, if many of you remember that. While working for the 5 and 10, she caught the eye of Donald Williams Jr., who came to New Bethlehem to join his parents upon his discharge from the United States Army. They married in May of 1960. And a year later, they had their first daughter, Judy, and about 3 years later, they had me in 1964. During the early years of her marriage, she worked for the Leader Vindicator and the Derrick, reporting on the news from the Borough of New Bethlehem and the Redbank Valley School Board, and this allowed her to be at home and raise her daughters. However, in 1968, after closing her oldest daughter's finger in the car door, she tells me this, that she was concerned about medical bills, so she thought she better go back to work. Fortunately, Katie Shoemaker, who worked for the Leach Agency, was shopping at Reincel's drugstore where my grandma Viola worked. That would be my mom's mother-in-law. And she mentioned to Viola that Chuck Leach had come back to town and was working at the agency, and he was looking to hire somebody. So, of course, Grandma recommended Mom, and Judy was Chuck's first hire. At that time, she was offered a higher-paying job with Willison Chevrolet, but Chuck gave her a raise instantly to keep her. So, thus, 37 and a half years with the Leach Agency became part of history. She held licenses in life, property casualty, variable annuities, along with the securities license. And she may even have a record in the history books with how many times you can retire from one company. Now, she might be in competition with Mary Lou, I don't know, I'm not sure. But she first retired in June of 2005 as the manager of the financial services. She returned when being asked and retired again in April of 2010. Again, she returned and retired for the third and final time in January of 2013. Back in 1973, Chuck was the president of the Chamber of Commerce, and they were in need of a secretary. So Judy agreed to take the position and was chamber secretary from 1973 to 1974. In 1979, she accepted the position of chamber treasurer and held that position until 2007. That's 28 years as the treasurer. So I guess that's dedication. For many years, she and various others planned the annual chamber banquets, and at that time it was held at the St. Charles Social Hall, and it was really a happening affair. It was always well attended and highlighted with an evening of entertainment, usually pretty tasteful. There were a few times that there maybe were some bad choices made there, but on the most part, they were pretty successful. Her time with the chamber was spent on many committees, from flood commemoration, sesquicentennial, celebration to the most recent, the Peanut Butter Festival, which was organized as part of a revitalization plan for the Redbank Valley area, and it's been a great success. She has been a member of the New Bethlehem Civic Club for over 50 years, was asked to organize and chair the Peanut Butter Queen Scholarship Contest, and she's been involved in that since its inception 19 years ago, and she's been the chairperson of that for the past 17 years. This year, she will hand over the reins to Brianna Reichard Johnson, and Brianna was a former Peanut Butter Queen recipient. She also organizes and coordinates the yearly AMBA multiphasic blood program for the club. The First United Methodist Church in New Bethlehem is a very important part of Mom's life, and she's been a member of the church and the church choir for over 50 years. She's held various positions in the church groups, but is currently the president of the United Methodist Women and chairperson of the Finance and Audit Committees. She served as the church treasurer for over 17 years and participated in many missions trips to New York City and Pittsburgh. Throughout the years, she's been an active part of the community, serving on Borough Council, Republican committee person for New Bethlehem Borough, and is the registrar of death certificates in the borough. And at one time, she was also a member of the Clarion County Historical Society. So obviously, she's very busy. She is currently on the board of directors for the Redbank Valley Historical Society, chair of the field trip committee for the society, and a member of the Redbank Valley Community Choir. Her husband, my dad, was usually pretty supportive of most of the things that she did, and was very helpful in a lot of the projects he always liked to participate too. However, he often had to threaten her on going away by himself just to get her to go and travel with them. And when they did do that, they enjoyed riding the motorcycle, traveling by car, or pulling a camper on highways and back roads from here to Texas, I think you've been, hasn't it? So she still enjoys camping in Erie, where they've had a permanent campsite since the mid-1970s. Since my father's passing in 2010, she's enjoyed spending time with her friends and traveling with her friend and former co-worker, Sonia Kane, and friend of many years, Linda Sloan, among with numerous others. And they all enjoy each other's company and have a good time. Judy has been a vital part of this community for over 50 years, but her most important commitment being the wife of the late Don Williams, the mother of Jody Groover, myself, Susan Rupert, grandmother of Jordan Groover Duberow, Will Rupert, Jamie Rupert, Jill Rupert Wolf, and great-grandma to Corbin Wolf. And, of course, her commitment to her church and to God. It is with great pride that I invite my mother and friend to come forward to be presented with the award that she has truly earned by giving unselfishly to her friends, neighbors, and community. Judy Williams, Redbank Valley Chamber of Commerce 2017 Citizen of the Year. And I love you, Mom.
She's presenting.
Diane's going to reach.
That was beautiful. That's why I didn't give it to her. So does Mary Lou have it on her or not?
I don't know. She's retired a couple times. She's back to work. So she's retired again.
You can beat me. That's okay, Mary Lou.
On behalf of the Chamber of Commerce, this is an award for you to hang on your wall. Enjoy that as Citizen of the Year. Also, Donna Oberlander's here. I don't know if you would like to present this. She can maybe explain, but she does give you a citation for...
Oh, I'd be happy to.
That would be great.
Do that. Okay. Well, first, I gotta give you a hug. That was awesome.
So on behalf of the House of Representatives, I do have a citation to present to you honoring your commitment to the community and being named Citizen of the Year. So congratulations, and it is truly a pleasure to be able to give you that citation. Thank you.
So much.
You want a few words, Judy?
Very few. I hope that I can do this. I hope I can see it.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I don't have really big print here like Susan did. But, As you maybe were aware, whenever she announced this, that I wasn't really surprised tonight. And the reason is, as you heard her say, that Sonia and Linda and some friends and I travel. So probably many years ago, like maybe 11 o'clock at night on TV, it would come on and it'd say, "Do you know where your children are?" Okay, in our house, it's, "Do you know where my mother is?" And Jody just found out tonight, by way of conversation, that next week I'll be going to Atlanta, Georgia. So whenever Joe and Susan came one morning to ask me what I was doing on April 8th, I said, I really don't know, but let me check my schedule. And when I did check it, I said, well, at this point, I don't have anything going on right now. So she said, well, we have something going on for you. So that is how this came about. I want to thank the committee for the honor. I very much appreciate it. As Susan mentioned, my in-laws, when they moved here from Texas, were very community-minded. And my mother-in-law, Viola, got me involved in Civic Club right away. And of course, she lived in our backyard too, so it made it very convenient that if I needed a babysitter, the girls had somebody right there. So I have to thank Viola for my commitment to the Civic Club for over 50 years. I'd like to thank Jody and Susan for, I don't know if I want to say me neglecting them. They turned out pretty good, I think. It was kind of a, I was a very busy person. And of course, my husband, as Susan mentioned, passed away a number of years ago. And he did support me the majority of the time, but he would get a little bit of, upset sometimes because I had someplace to go and he wasn't going along and he had other plans. So I have to thank him. Many people are members of organizations, clubs, organizations, but maybe they don't contribute very much to them. But I'm a believer in, if I belong to an organization, then whether it be church, my job, a club, I give 100%. And I hope that I have done that. I have a little motto that I have always liked, and it is, bloom where you are planted. And I hope I have done that. Thank you.
When Judy says she's committed, she commits. I've hauled around some of the peanut butter queen winners for the festival, and of course I had a big box of candy in the back. I said, we can throw candy as we're going through the parade. And all those girls, no, Mrs. Williams doesn't allow us to throw candy. You can't throw candy. So, she definitely, if you ran the Miss America pageant, it would be a bit different than it is now, for sure. So those girls really respected her. So Judy, you did a wonderful job with that. Susan, by the way, didn't know that she was the presenter until I called her yesterday. So she also did a very nice job of preparing that. So again, good work, Susan.